प्रिय विद्यार्थियों, मुकेश माहेश्वरी गुरुकुल आईसीएस में फिर से हम इकट्ठे हैं। हमने नए सेशन में पॉलिटी की शुरुआत की थी, राज्य व्यवस्था की, और मैंने आपको बताया था कि हाउ दिस पॉलिटी इट गवर्न्स आवर एंटायर लॉ एंड ऑर्डर, आल्सो इट protects our country, it defends our country from the outside threats, also it ensures how our bilateral relations can be going on, can be maintained, and who is the power and the center to manage all these lateral affairs or the foreign affairs. Okay, so now the time has come to start with the constitutions that provides the proper framework for our polity. Okay, yesterday I discussed about the federal system. What is our federal system? I just given an intro about that. Now to start with the constitutions, we have to understand what is the constitution. Constitution a word is there. It is basically derived from constitute. This is an Latin word. Constitute जो है वो एक लैटिन वर्ड है. लैटिन आप जानते हैं, जो लैटिन टेरिटरीज थे वहां से जो है ये लैटिन भाषा आई है, और लैटिन वहां की, जैसे हमारे यहाँ प्राकृत भाषा है, प्राकृत लैंग्वेज that was prevalent and practiced in Magda territory. Okay, Prakrit from Magad to Nepal. This Prakrit is the basic language. Okay, उससे ही Magda language, that is the narrative form of the Prakrit. और प्राकृत हमको पता है अशोक ने काफी अपने अभिलेख जो है वो प्राकृत भाषा और ब्रह्मी जो स्क्रिप्ट है उसमें उसने लिखे हैं. खैर, तो constitute it is a Latin word and it sounds a meaning principles related to rule. Constitution, it is, we can say it is somewhat related to the rule, how to rule the country, how to rule a territory. Okay, if we are talking about constitutions, it means it provides some basic rules, some principles by application of which the body in which all powers are inherited, that empowered to impose these rules, to rule over that territory by application of their powers. Okay, so this rule, it comes out of the constitutions, means the power of rule. How to rule? Some power must be provided, some power must be given behind the, you can say, authority, so that it can impose rules, it can frame rules, and it can execute rules. And also along with that, given the ruling powers, along with that, if any violation is there, if these rules are violated, that it can also punish, it can also ensure the proper order to follow the rule. Okay, so rule has very widened and broader concept. So constitutions, it is principles related to rule. Why I emphasize that one, rule को मैंने क्यों इतना emphasize किया? Why? Altogether it provides a framework of ruling power. तो रूल से क्या है, एक रूलिंग पावर आ जाता है सामने. ये रूलिंग पावर जो है, ये कोई अथॉरिटीज देयर, लेकिन आप देखिए ये अथॉरिटीज कौन सी है. यस्टरडे वी डिस्कस फेडरल सिस्टम, सेंटर में बैठा हुआ है, अ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट इज देयर, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स they are also there in their respective states, they are running. But ये जो है, these are the ruling powers are the authorities and they derived their authorities, their powers from the constitution. So altogether constitutions, जिसको हम बोलते हैं constitutionality, constitution, constitutional, ओके. तो constitutional जब हम बोलते हैं तो इसका मतलब क्या होता है? What does it mean? We are talking about the rule, about the authority. हम कहते हैं it is a constitutional body, CAG, UPSC, Attorney General of India, Advocate General of a state. So what does it mean? They are the constitutional bodies, means they derive their rights directly from the constitutions. Their authorities, their positions directly from the constitution. So constitution given an upper hand above all rules and regulations. Rules are subordinate to the constitutions since they find their origin from the constitutions. Okay, we can challenge if there is no mention about any rule, any legislations in the constitutions, we can challenge. But if it is not mentioned in the constitutions, but constitutions given an authority to the central legislative assembly, power, Lok Sabha or the parliament, it can frame any rule, any legislation, any law on certain subjects mentioned in the constitutions. Okay, if not mentioned in the constitutions and constitutions told about that, yes, if it speaks about any particular subjects, number of subjects, or either can given a free hand or all subjects, on any subjects it can frame. So if the law is framed by the parliament under any of these provisions I am talking, then such kind of law framed by the parliament cannot be challenged. Why? Since it backed by the constitutional power. It has constitutional powers to frame. Which one? The parliament. And similarly, if the same power is inherited in the state legislative assembly, then the same law, if framed by the legislative assembly, Vidhan Sabha, then it is also having the similar kind of constitutionality, since the constitution is there behind it one. So either directly the authority is mentioned, their powers, their functions are mentioned in the constitutions, or indirectly constitutions empowered, yes, these authorities can be found by the parliament or any of other such kind of provisions like the ordinances. So it has the same constitutionality, though it is not directly mentioned in the constitution. I think we are going on the right way to understand what is the constitution. So principles related to rule, and this rule, it is having a wider concept and aspects. Okay, so the principles related to rule, this constitution, the constitution becomes, I just told you, the upper hand of all rules. This is the very, you can say, the supreme power, the supreme power of the land, supreme power of the land. You can say, we can say supreme law of the land, constitution. No one can be above the constitutions. All the rules, regulations, authorities, powers, all are subordinate, all are subdued to the constitutions. So this is the supreme law or supreme power of the land, constitution itself. And the all other supreme law, it means what? The all other laws, rules, legislations, ordinance, Okay, and authorities, either the Prime Minister or the President, all are governed by the supreme law, means the Constitution. No one, either it is the law or like to law, or the authorities cannot violate the Constitution, cannot violate the constitutional provisions. They are required to obey, follow whatever written in the Constitution. So, to understand the constitutions, number one, fact wise, we can summarize it like Latin word, the principles, related to rule. Okay, the constitutional, it is the supreme law, of the land. Supreme law of the land means country, nation. This constitution, it all rules, legislations, laws are subordinate to it. All are subordinate to constitutions. Okay, these are the very important facts to understand the constitutions. Now, the importance of constitution. Importance of the constitution. It directs, it provides for the law and order authority and the country. Law and order authority in the country. It provides for the various authorities, their power and functions. It determines the government and public relations. For example, the third chapter of Indian Constitution's fundamental rights and the fourth chapter, directive principles of states. These both belongs to that particular thing. Other all provisions are also reflecting the same relationship as and were discussed in the Constitution. It acts as a mirror of people's expectations. From the government, people's expectations from the government. पब्लिक क्या चाहती है अपनी सरकार से, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशंस ये बताता है. इट इज a mirror. Okay, and also provides for the commitment of government towards fulfilling these expectations. Expectations of the peoples from the government, yes, this is mentioned. In directive principle of stress chapter we can find. Okay, we will see what are the means directive principles, how the government is directed to fulfill the public's expectations. These expectations are the basic parameter. If they are fulfilling by the government, how the public, the society that evaluate the government on the basis of fulfilling these expectations. Now, these are the expectations. It also, this another expectation is another, you can say the importance is that it provides for the redressal agencies. Redressal agencies to address various disputes arise between agencies, between center, between government and the public, between public and public. All these are there and the constitutions. Court, when the judicial system is there to address these grievances. Okay, and some other authorities are also there, indirectly mentioned, means empowered the government to create such you can say the agencies to address the grievances of the public or any part of public, any class of public, this way. So this is the constitutions. Now the constitution, type of constitutions, we can say two types of constitutions are prevalent in the world: oral and written. Oral constitutions, initially the constitution begins with the oral concept. Our constitutions, Vedas is there. Manu Smriti was followed by the ancient kingdoms. Okay, till the you can say formation of British rule, the Manu Smriti was considered as the constitution, you can say. Okay, a law. Okay, exercised throughout the country with some you can say the local variants like Dai Bhag in Bengal, Mitakshara, this way. So the constitution on modern line, we can say the UK, United Kingdom, विश्व का पहला कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन जो है, संविधान, यही था, यूके में आया था. ओके, बट इट इज अनरिटन, oral constitutions. Okay, some conventions are under practice over there and they are treated as the conventions. Okay, constitution, conventions, parliamentary legislations, all this constitute the constitution. Okay, it is unwritten, and judiciary refer these conventions and the legislations, parliamentary legislations, as the constitutional provisions. Okay, so this is the unwritten, but it is very rarely found. Majorly found is the written constitution concept throughout the world, and the US, America, was the first given the written constitutions to the world. Okay, 1897, this was framed by Thomas Jefferson. Okay, Declaration of Freedom. He was the framer of the Declaration of the Freedom for the US in 1876. And when the US became a liberated and independent country, also given credit to form the US Constitution, Thomas Jefferson. 1887 में उन्होंने किया था. Washington was the first president and Thomas Jefferson was the second president of US. So 1887 he framed the constitutions for the US and it becomes the first written constitutions of the world. Only 7 7 articles were there. Okay, further more amendments are there and more articles added to the constitutions. In India, we also followed the written concept of the constitution, and 1950 it was implemented on 26 January of 1950, 26 January. हमारा संविधान लागू हुआ था 26 of November 1949. It was accepted by the Constituent Assembly, but it was delayed by 2 months in the memory of the 26th day 1930, when we celebrated the Swaraj Day. Okay, at the bank of the Ravi, Lahore. Okay, so India, the biggest constitutions of biggest written constitution of the world. Biggest written constitution of world contains 395 articles. Okay, all the amendments and the new additions, subsections are there, but overall 395 articles are there. Okay, so we are the biggest one in the world. So today we try to understand what is the constitution and what does it stand for, particularly in terms of the importance of the constitutions for the society, for the country. Okay, is it a legacy? Is it a British legacy for the India? Since some claimed, yes, it is borrowed constitutions. It is borrowed constitutions. Is it a borrowed constitution? So tomorrow we will discuss about, is it a borrowed constitution, is it a British legacy, or somewhat else. Okay, thank you very much.